Some people reach 100 not from good genes, but because every morning they wake up with a purpose. Then there are others, 62, who feel long dead, even though their heart still beats. Could it be that living long isn't just about genetics, but an entire way of living distilled from the little things we do each day? An elderly woman in Texas once said, "Eat just enough, never aim for full. A full stomach is what makes you age fast." Or an old man in Japan who lived nearly a century shared, "Every morning I ask myself, what is my purpose today?" These whispers, seemingly so simple, yet they hold the wisdom of a whole lifetime. Are you rushing through life? Have you ever eaten a meal without really tasting it? Have you ever paced and turned all night over something not worth a second thought? Your 60s are not the conclusion. They are a time to live more deeply, more lightly, and more authentically. The 7 lessons in this video are simple truths that have helped thousands live long, healthy, and joyful lives. These are not distant secrets, but small changes that you can begin making today. And who knows, after watching this video all the way through, you might just find your own reason to smile every morning. Just listen closely. Let's dive in. Here is the first lesson for life. Eat just enough and never overeat. The world's longest living people never eat until they are full, not out of discipline, but because they know every time you overeat, you are literally taking a day away from your own life. Across decades of research on centenarians from Okinawa, Japan to Sardinia, Italy, and Loma Linda in the US, scientists found a striking commonality. They all consume less than the average person. Nobody eats until they are stuffed and satisfied. They stop when they have had enough, and that seemingly minor detail is the great secret to extending life and maintaining exceptional mental and physical health. The Okinawans have a famous phrase, "Hara hachi bu," which means eat only until you are 80% full. Research from Harvard Medical School confirms that eating moderately reduces stress on the digestive system, keeps blood sugar stable, lowers inflammation, and slows the aging process. On the flip side, overeating, especially at night, increases your risk of diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and chronic insomnia. Mrs. Louise, 89, from Louisiana, says her meals are always simple and small. Some vegetables, a bit of fish, and only a couple slices of bread. She never rushes her food or eats to satisfy a craving. "I eat as though I'm conversing with my body. When it says, 'That's enough,' I stop eating," she says with a smile. Because of this, she hasn't taken blood pressure or diabetes medicine in over 50 years. You don't need a restrictive diet or extreme fasting. Just listen for that feeling of fullness and stop before it's too late. Try to eat more slowly, chew more thoroughly, and serve yourself slightly smaller portions. This small act will help your stomach work more gently, reduce heaviness after meals, and dramatically improve your sleep. Don't let your later years be defined by rushed, heavy, and uncomfortable meals. Eat like the long-lived, with intention, just enough, and knowing the right time to stop, so every meal nourishes not just your body, but also the healthy years that lie ahead. The body must be nourished properly, but the mind requires just as much care. Did you know that losing your ability to smile is one of the first signs of brain aging, and it can shorten your life by nearly a decade? There's something very clear about people who live past 100. Not all of them diet, exercise daily, or take a wide range of vitamins. But almost all of them share one very simple thing in common: a cheerful, lighthearted spirit, and the ability to face life with a forgiving smile. Researchers at Yale University have found that older adults with a positive, optimistic outlook tend to live an average of 5 years longer than their pessimistic peers. This attitude is not just a mindset. It physically impacts the body by lowering cortisol, the stress hormone, boosting immunity, increasing resistance to illness, and helping the brain function more effectively day to day. Mr. Albert, 81, from California, survived a war, lost his wife, and many relatives. Yet he still begins each day by talking to himself in the mirror. Today is a good day to be alive. He tells jokes daily, doesn't dwell on the past, and always finds small reasons for gratitude like the warm sun, a hot coffee, or birds chirping outside his window. I don't choose my circumstances, but I choose how I react to them, he often says. A positive mood isn't always automatic. It's a habit you need to cultivate. You can start small. Write down 3 things that brought you joy today. Call an old friend and listen to a favorite song, or simply have a genuine laugh at a comedy. Every little joy acts like a brick building a resilient mind and a body that won't give up so easily. If you find yourself becoming easily saddened or irritable, try taking a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and think about all you have overcome. Old age may bring many changes, but it is also a precious opportunity to live with more ease and serenity. Because living a long life isn't just about counting the years, it's about counting the days you have truly smiled. And if you nurture a positive mindset every day, then your later years will not only be longer, but also far more beautiful. Keeping a peaceful mind is one part of the equation, but to live long and stay healthy, your body also needs to be activated every day. You don't need the gym to live a long life, but if you sit still for too long, your life is silently being shortened, minute by minute, without you knowing. The world's longest living people aren't athletes, nor do they lift weights or run marathons each morning. They are people who incorporate gentle movement into their daily lives, gardening, slow walks, taking a few stairs, or simply getting up frequently. And it's these simple, consistent, and natural movements that are the secret to a long, healthy, and sustainable life. A major 2022 study from the University of California, San Diego, followed over 5,000 women older than 63 for 6 years. It found that just adding 30 minutes of light activity daily, like walking around the house, folding laundry, or tidying up, could reduce the risk of early death by up to 20%. Critically, the benefits were clear even for participants unable to do vigorous exercise due to age or health conditions. Mrs. Marie, 88, from Texas, never exercises in the traditional sense, but she moves around her house constantly, prepares her own meals, waters her garden, and always washes her clothes by hand. She says, "I don't let myself sit for more than 30 minutes. The amazing thing is, at almost 100, she still walks to the market, needs no cane, and even teaches young people how to bake bread. You don't need a complicated plan. Just get up from your chair every 30 minutes, walk a few steps, stretch your arms, rotate your wrists, and gently shake your legs. If you can, take a short walk after meals, or do a light chore like sweeping the porch or washing dishes. These small movements, repeated daily, will become the silent guardians of your health throughout your later years. Old age shouldn't mean being sedentary. In fact, when you keep moving, keep being active, you keep living each day to its absolute fullest. So start right now. Stand up, take a few steps, and feel your longevity growing with every single one of those slow, steady movements. Movement keeps the body flexible, but to live with true ease and peace, you also need to learn how to release the burdens you carry inside. A 7-year-old woman recently had a stroke, not from high blood pressure, but because she'd held on to a hurtful comment from her son for 20 years. Are you holding on to anything powerful enough to break your heart? After 60, what truly exhausts us isn't just illness or age. It's the nameless worries, the past we haven't let go of, and the simmering emotions that linger year after year. Many assume that getting older means worrying more. But in truth, the longest living people are those who know how to live lightly. They learn to forgive quickly, set aside troubles, and keep their hearts clear before their bodies start to protest. Research from the University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, shows that older adults who maintain emotional stability, experience less anxiety, and quickly release relational stress are more likely to live longer and have a higher quality of life. Specifically, their cortisol stress hormone levels are markedly lower, which helps reduce the risk of high blood pressure, insomnia, stroke, and memory issues. Mr. Franklin, 75, from Oregon, was a successful businessman who lost everything at 70. Instead of resentment, he chose to let go. He moved to live near his family, grew a garden, read books, and would tell old stories with a lighthearted smile. Anything you hold in your heart, if it isn't love, it's just making you age faster, he once told a local reporter. Letting go doesn't mean being indifferent or avoidant. It's an active choice to unburden your heart, to stop letting the past hurt you in the present. You can start by writing down what's weighing on you. Then ask yourself, is this still worth carrying? Or simply practice deep breathing each morning and repeat a small mantra like, today I choose peace. The longest living people don't hold long grudges. They don't sweat the small stuff. And they don't chase things they can no longer change. They understand that life is a journey, and you can't travel far if your backpack is too heavy. So if something is weighing on your heart, try letting a little of it go. Not because someone else deserves forgiveness, but because you deserve the peace to enjoy a few more beautiful seasons. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, drop a 4 in the comments just to let me know. And hey, if you haven't already, maybe hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so we can continue this journey together. Your support honestly helps us create more content just like this. Letting go lightens the heart, but to live a truly joyful and long life, we need something even deeper: connection. Did you know that loneliness after age 70 is more dangerous than smoking? It can be just as deadly, without any poison at all. There's an invisible thread that ties longevity to connection. The world's longest living people don't live in isolated homes or hide behind closed doors. They live among family, neighbors, and community, where every day brings a conversation, a check-in, a simple meal filled with laughter. A landmark Harvard study, which has spanned over 80 years and continues today, reveals that the single greatest predictor of happiness and longevity is not money, fame, or even physical health in youth, but warm quality relationships with family and friends. People who maintain strong social ties have a significantly lower risk of heart disease, dementia, and depression. Mrs. Ruth, 83, from New York, lives in a building surrounded by her extended family. Every evening, she sits on her porch to chat with the neighbors, feed the birds, and regularly calls her grandson, who lives far away. She says, "I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm only afraid of having no one to talk to." That feeling of being heard and of sharing is the very energy that keeps her healthy and thriving year after year. You don't need a huge family or tons of friends. Just staying in touch with a few loved ones, making an occasional call or text, or even just smiling at a neighbor can make a difference. These small connections, built up over time, become a strong safety net to catch you on days when you feel tired, sad, or alone. Because old age isn't a time to shrink away. It's a time to open up more to what truly matters: family, friendship, and connection. And if you want to live long and live deeply, don't live alone. Live in the company of those you love, and those who love you right back. Connection keeps us from being lonely, but what keeps us going each day is having a reason to get up, to look forward, to live with meaning. An older person might live 10 years longer simply because they have a reason to get up in the morning. But if every day starts with what for, the body will begin giving up long before the spirit does. When you enter your 60s and beyond, many people begin to slow down. But there is a thin line between slowing down and slowly withdrawing. If you wake up each morning with nothing to look forward to, nothing to do, nothing to tend to or care for, then your body will also gradually lose its will to keep going. Research from Tohoku University School of Medicine in Japan, published in JAMA Psychiatry, followed over 43,000 people aged 40 and up for more than 7 years. It found that those with ikigai, a sense of purpose in oim, had up to a 30% lower risk of mortality than those who couldn't find a daily reason to live. This feeling of having a reason to be not only boosts morale, but also directly impacts the immune system, cardiovascular health, and brain function. Mrs. Eliza, 79, from Florida, still gets up at 6 a.m. to tend to her plants. She shared, I don't have a busy schedule like younger people, but I have my orchids, my cats, and a few letters to write. It's these small things, gardening, knitting, teaching her grandchild a recipe, that make her feel like she is living, not just existing. A reason to wake up doesn't have to be grand. It could be caring for a plant, walking with an old friend, writing in a journal, or just making yourself a really good breakfast. The feeling that you have something to do, someone to care for, something to anticipate, that is the inner flame that will guide you through the years of old age. Living long isn't just about extending the clock. It's about waking up each morning and knowing why you're still here. And that right there is the greatest gift life can offer someone who has turned 60. Having a reason to wake up gives you purpose, but to sustain that vitality, you need something even more fundamental: sleep. A 74-year-old man died from a stroke, not from genetics, but from 3 straight months of chronic insomnia. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's the first thing your body needs for survival. After 60, sleep can often feel like a luxury for many. Waking frequently, struggling to fall back asleep, light sleep. These prolonged disturbances can lead to mental fog, physical exhaustion, and a sense of despair. But for people who live past 100, sleep is a top priority, not just for rest, but for healing and keeping the body running like clockwork. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, AASM, older adults who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night have better memory and a lower risk of high blood pressure and heart disease than those who sleep too little, under 6 hours, or erratically. Research in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews also shows that high-quality sleep helps the body clear toxins from the brain, reducing the risk of Alzheimer's and helping the immune system work more effectively. Mr. Henry, 89, from Vermont, has never taken a sleeping pill. His secret is a fixed bedtime, lights out at 9 p.m., up at 6 a.m. to water his garden. He avoids coffee after 2 p.m., powers down electronics by 7 p.m., and always reads a few pages from a book before bed. "I treat sleep like a ceremony. I respect it just as I respect my own health," he says. You don't need more sleep. You need better sleep at the right time. To achieve that, build a routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time daily. Keep your bedroom quiet and cool, and turn off all lights and screens at least 30 minutes before bed. If it helps, listen to soft music or practice a few relaxing, deep breathing exercises. Good sleep doesn't just keep you alert during the day, it also repairs your cells, regulates hormones, and keeps your heart beating steadily through the quiet night. It is an essential part of a healthy life, and it can't be traded for a late-night movie, a party, or a few more hours of scrolling. A long, healthy, and clear-minded life. It all begins with a full night of rest. And if tonight you choose to go to sleep early, gently, and without worry, then tomorrow you will wake up with a body that is ready to live another precious day. Longevity isn't measured in years. It's measured in how many times we think, "I want to live one more day just like this." Life, as it goes on, calls for more lightness, not because we have grown weaker, but because we have understood not everything is worth holding on to. You probably won't change everything after one video. But if today you choose to take on a 10-minute walk, to eat a little slower, or to call someone you love, then that is already a beautiful beginning. We don't live to count the years, but to feel the moments we have left. A deep breath, a gentle, sunny afternoon, a peaceful smile. If these words made you pause for just a few seconds to reflect, then maybe you are already living more authentically. Feel free to share this video with someone you love, or tell me which lesson resonated most in the comments below. You never know, what you share might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. Wishing you gentle, profound days and abundant peace in every beat of your life.